Okay, I'm back for Road Trader. We're on our way to... Oh, I put Kiowa Gamma, but it's Kiowa Gamma, isn't it? Where did the O come from? Kiowa Gamma, yeah. Which is an industrial planet. So they're making stuff, I guess? Yeah, so let's go... Oh god, I gotta level up. Let's do it now while we're on... I've already got this. Suffers direct damage to gains... What's Inspire? The target gains plus 5% damage and 5% additional damage, yeah. Oh. Until the end of combat, all burning effects will deal plus 12% more damage. Oh, she gets extra thing. Wildfire. The Archmilitant's next attack this turn will cost 0 AP and will not count towards the attack limit per turn. And then I need to get, what is it? A heavy weapon. Maybe they'll start showing up now. The Bounty sets a trap on a free cell. Any enemy entering the cell activates the trap. Okay. Reveal the light. The target ally gains plus 22 to their willpower and toughness. Nice buff. Wildfire and... The first grenade used in combat does not spend AP and does not count towards the attack limit. Maybe I should give him some grenades then. 2 chainsaws. Plasma gun. I like the melter gun. Bolter, 2-handed. I need a heavy weapon somehow. A bolt pistol. Unfavored valor. Bringer of terror. See, if I was heretical. Okay. I've been here, right? Oh, it's Uncharted. Oh yeah, because I got distracted by all the different quests and stuff. Okay, so let's go anti-clockwise. What's this? Flood victims. It appears that a large void ship recently dumped a huge load of junk and faulty parts from orbit. The debris that did not burn up in the atmosphere is now blocking the flow of a mighty river. This dam is causing the river to overflow, flooding the nearby valley. A herd of large hoofed rodents has gathered along the riverbanks. If the animals lose their usual habitat, they are doomed. Okay. Burning world, added to the worlds of the expanse. Pirates.
The litany of ordnance rings out across our decks.
Let them taste our fury! All hands, prepare for acceleration. Macro cannon, open fire! Coordinates set!
Oh, I forgot about that.
Engage the engines. Fire at will. Salvo.
Oh, we're going to take some damage now.
Macro cannon, open fire.
Detecting a vulnerability in the enemy's defenses.
Lance batteries.
Let's
Volley.
blast them to smithereens.
Let them taste our fury. Salvo.
Oh no. Ah, here we go.
Coordinates set. No mercy for the enemies of humanity.
All clear. Congratulations, Lord Captain.
Nice. Dealt with those pirates. Petroleum. Promethium, I mean. Oh, I wonder if I did that. Nearly done. I guess I've got to go to another system and then it might load, maybe? Or is it a number of planets you go to? Not really sure. I need to go there. I might as well go here, right? Lord Captain, I bring dire news. A feud has broken out between the clans that maintain the Void Shield arrays. Rumour has it that the late Lady Theodora was seen on the lower decks, and so one of the families called for a rebellion against the usurper of the Void Ship, and that is you. So far, no one believes their mad tales, but unrest has begun at the fringes of the compartments. The ship's enforcers are ready to eliminate the instigating clan or pacify the entire Void Shield crew. The decision is yours. Find the source of the rumours and punish those responsible. I don't want any unnecessary deaths. Lord Captain, as Seneschal Warson would say, there are no innocents in such cases. The clans are endangering the entire Void Ship. My wish is, Foxmaster, are for the enforcers to sort out the situation before we lose the entire crew. What's Hulk? Lord Captain, the Argos cannot determine who the ship we are approaching belongs to, but the telemetry clearly reveals it is an Imperium vessel. The hull is badly damaged, but there is an air in some of the chambers, which means they are hermetically sealed. What are your orders? Send out the order. We who walk down the same passageways in the same bays day after day, we who are born live and die to the hum of the ship's machines. We forever hunger for the smallest glimpse of another life, and for a chance to see the heroes who tirelessly fight for us and for the glory of the Imperium. So let's have a tale about the Lord Captain, by the will of the Emperor, the guardian and commander of every good and honest soul upon this void ship, and the time she boarded a vessel named Fireborn. Oh. Like a dead whale cast ashore by the inexorable force of the swell, the wrecked vessel was a confronting sight for its unwitting visitors. Some bays still retained an atmosphere, but there was no life anywhere. The ship was dead, its machine spirits dissipated in the darkness of space. It was just a husk left, and the rogue trader's crew were to become scavengers swarming the carcass of a fallen leviathan. Our Lord Captain oversaw the expedition personally. She decided to train the penetrating gaze of the Argo arrays on the damaged ship. The Argo's keen eyes scanned the eerie vessel, identifying that the void ship was gravely damaged and was in the process of final erosion. There was very little time to explore it. 3 sectors seemed the least damaged: the bridge, the middle crew deck, and the service bay. After exchanging a series of trills and warbles in their mysterious and ancient language, the tech priest responsible for the augurs reported to the Lord Captain that they had glimpsed signs of valuable components in operation in the service bay. The Lord Captain's next step was to have Idra Tlas feel out a course. An unholy psyker she may be, but even souls as dark as hers submit to the Lord Captain's will. With hostile eyes upon her, Idra sank into a trance. When she resurfaced, she reported that the ship had been a victim of the warp. The bridge had suffered worst of all. It was the section that provoked the greatest anxiety and trepidation in the Psyker. The service bay was the least damaged section, though Idra spoke of it with no particular interest. The Lord Captain's next step was to turn attention to the scouts waiting for attention. The Lord Captain had to decide which of the 3 teams she would lead, and which 2 would be entrusted to their officers. Let here be known the names of those honest people who stood before our rogue trader in that moment. The tactum and grave young Ho Son, whose word was as firm as his handshake. Captain Vesti, whose jokes were remembered by everyone on decks 3 to 5. Captain Matima, the senior officer of the 3rd unit, known as many as Grey Matina. She had been leading units back when the current crop of scouts were snot-nosed kids. No one on deck was in any doubt that navigating inside the wrecked ship would be difficult. The units were spread by kilometers of twisted metal, dead modules devoid of atmosphere, collapsed passageways, and hull breaches the size of a house. The only thing connecting the brave teams would be the delicate thread of Vox Link. And so, after weighing up the options, the Lord Captain chose to go with Grey Meta and her people, whose target was the service bay. From here on, we will relate the events based on what we have learned from witnesses, the people who accompanied the Lord Captain on the tour of the dread ship. The shuttle started up one after another and dispersed, each heading for its selected target. An hour spent on cutting through the hull in the freezing vacuum space, a fussy boarding, and then finally the rogue trader stepped into the cold, dark deck of the dead ship. The light of the torches revealed a sign in the gloom: Fireborn. After a minute-long exchange with the Voxmaster, who quickly checked the archives, it was established that the dead vessel was that of Captain Nova Van Dane, registered at Kiava Gamma Port. Grey Martina said a prayer appropriate to the situation. Then she looked expectantly at the Lord Captain, waiting for orders. After examining the service bay and consulting the augurs, the Lord Captain suggested where the ship's undamaged components could be found. From here on, we will relate the events based on what we have learned from witnesses. The Lord Captain's assessment proved to be correct. After a thorough search, as all searches conducted by Grey Martina were, the scouts found undamaged components and marked them for later dismantling. Sound crackled from the Vox speakers and a light on the casing switched on, signaling a message coming in from the first unit's frequency. Commander Young-Ho Son calmly reported that his unit was making satisfactory progress towards the ship's bridge. This was followed by a message from the second unit, which was on the crew deck. The Vox speakers crackled, preparing to connect with the unit's commander, Captain Vesti. The words that came through sounded muffled, as though the person on the other end wasn't speaking directly into the Vox, but accidentally pressing the transmit button while occupied with something else. Never seen anything like it. It's beautiful. Hold on. Wait. Is it moving? The pale-faced Captain Martina barked out a stream of order, telling the unit to close rank around the rogue trader and prepare for trouble. But then the yelling from the box turned to laughter. I got your old girl, boomed a voice from the speaker. It belonged to Captain Vesti, the commander of the unit exploring the middle deck. Don't panic, we're all good here. Not a thing to report. I hope where you are is just as uneventful. White with anger, Martina turned to the rogue trader. Captain Vesti has a unique sense of humour. I strongly suggest your ladyship take him in hand. The Lord Captain diffused the conflict brewing between the two commanders and requested a report from Captain Vesti on his unit's progress. Captain Vesti reported that his unit's foray had so far proceeded without incident, mystical or otherwise. They had found no survivors from the ship's crew, or bodies for that matter. However, the unit had encountered a problem. The passage leading to the deck section with the arsenal and storage depot was seriously damaged, especially the power cables. Proceeding further could be dangerous. Failed. Oh no. Fortune smiled on the unit this time. Grey Martina, having trusted our instinct and experience, chose to return to the shuttle via an alternate route. In one of the dark branching passageways, the team discovered a modest but untouched trove of cargo from Kiava Gamma. The voice of Young-Ho Sho reached the captain's ear once again, the first unit captain soberly reporting that his people were proceeding to the bridge. The ensuring deathly silence alerted the Lord Captain that something was wrong. Following the gazes of his team, she saw that the unit's dispatcher, who was carrying the large Voxcaster with the antenna and transmitter, was lagging far behind the rest of the group, and the transmission indicator was dark. There was no incoming messages. Even if there had been, Son's voice couldn't have sounded so close, as if the dispatcher or Son himself was standing right next to the rogue trader. Son here, Unit 1 proceeding to the bridge, said the voice again. Now it seemed to be coming from all sides, drawing in from the left and right, from under the deck, and even from somewhere among the mess of cables overhead. Willpower. Warp. Lord Cameron summoned her will to resist the illusion. The Lord Captain managed not only to maintain her self-control, but also to keep the terrified unit from veering into outright panic. Led by the rogue trader, the scouts hurriedly retreated to the shuttle, pursued by their comrade's dismembered voice, which continued to repeat the same brief message. After returning to the shuttle, Pandora received reports about Fireborn's status. The tech priest who relentlessly pierced the wreckage with the augur's gaze insisted on curtailing the operation as soon as possible, feeling imminent destruction. There were also reports from the other two units. The second unit had suffered serious losses when a large bundle of electrified cables had fallen on top of them. The group had retreated, unable to retrieve the bodies of their comrades or any kind of valuable haul from the ship. When reporting on the situation, Captain Vesti didn't crack a single joke, which was very out of character. Augurs and the Vox system provided equally useless. The first unit, which had been exploring the bridge, had vanished without a trace, almost as if the dead ship had swallowed them whole. The scouts and their commander, Young-Ho Son, had simply disappeared, joining the thousands of crew members lost aboard the Fireborn. The units assembled at the shuttles, and the Lord Captain gave the final order of this grim expedition. Fire upon the cursed ship from long-range weapon batteries. After returning to the bridge of her ship, the rogue trader cast a final glance at the endless blackness and the shell of the Fireborn that lurked within it. In that moment, the ship's weapons batteries roared into life, lighting up the darkness with a barrage of fire, and the sad, cursed vessel was soon turned into a brilliant mass of molten metal and plasma. For that which was born in fire should also perish in fire. The rings. The giant rings on this planet's surface can be observed from even the orbit. Examine the rings. It has emerged that this planet has a native species of giant insects similar to the Terran ants. Just like ants, they sometimes form so-called death spirals, in which one creature follows another without realizing they're going in circles. These were the rings discovered by the ship's observers, the strange phenomenon that was originally suspected to be a sign of warp activity from nefarious xenostructures turned out to be a quirk of nature, and a tragic one at that. What's this? Provisions. Hulk. Oh, I should have saved. The augurs have detected wreckage in the void ship's vicinity, but the exact nature of the wreckage remains unclear. Some of the wreckage is made of plasteel, the rest is some unknown material. Studying the fragments further is now impossible due to the severe corrosive damage. Look for the source of the wreckage. The Argo crew reports that it registers no evidence of a disaster that could have produced such debris. Weird. Pillars of Radris. Lord Captain, we have an emergency. We have received word that there has been a sighting on the lower decks. A sighting of Lady Theodora. The messages we have received are incomplete and vague, little more than yelling and hysterical claims. There are reports of casualties and unrest. The compartment in question has already been sealed off, but I thought you might want to look into what's going on for yourself. The situation is delicate, and what's especially disturbing, their mention of Idrid Talas being present at the scene. I'll deal with it personally, I need the exact location.
This explorator is blessed with multifunctionality.
The breath of the Immaterium.
Oh, Theodora. And who nowadays to grace us with their presence? Another gaggle of heretics and traitors thirsting to get their due for what they've done? Or is it the leader herself, who has finally grown tired of hiding behind others? Theodora von Valencius is before you, and she looks grotesque. A hole yawns wide in her chest, rusted hooks protrude from beneath her skin, and a lump and inflamed scar cuts across her throat. The figure flickers as though it is dropping in and out of this reality. She looks at you with whitish eyes of a corpse and smiles venomously. Rogue trader, we meet at last. I'd grown tired of waiting for you to pay me a visit. Theodora's look is appraising, and her mocking tone turns to one of distaste. Indeed, centuries of selfless toil and effort and everything I left behind has gone on this nonentity. Argenta's eyes sparked with fury. War pollution, be gone! Argenta, my dear, there's no need to make such a fuss. Why don't we sit down over a cup of recaf like we used to? I'll listen to your rapturous tales of sacred relics, portents, and your special path. You must have been so lonely without me here. No one else is willing to listen to your ravings or help you with your childish treasure hunt. Theodora laughs melodiously, almost without mockery. At the sign of the terrifying Theodora, Ablard's face turns sickly pale. Throne spare us the cursed apparition of the archenemy. Is that what you are truly praying for? I can hear how fast your heart is pounding. Wursarian. I think deep down you hope this separation never ends. We have already met. Of course, girl, for it was I who gave the order to bring you here, to my ship. Oh, how I rue that decision now, and how now I regret heeding the advice of my seneschal. Ablard whispers hurriedly to you. How can this be? It's not the same vision as the one on the officer's deck, and yet entirely different. Why does it not remember that meeting? And why does it remember what the real Lady Theodora did? Alas, my glorious voyage through life was ended in the dullest way possible, by death. A nuisance I staved off as long as I could. But do not weep for me, my girl. I am still keeping an eye on my property and punishing all those who failed me. Theodora bares her rotten teeth in a snarl, her laughter piercing. You are not Theodora. Theodora is dead. There is no coming back from that. I'm dead? How is that? I am no different from those who have not yet crossed the divide between reality and eternity. I see, I speak, I remember the wrongs you all committed against me, and for all those who failed me, I have already begun exacting my retribution. I truly am Theodora, the remnants of herself that she left behind in this world. I am an echo of her memories preserved in the minds of those who cared for her. I am the taste of tears split for the unsaid and the undone. I am the terror of she who failed to turn the tide of fate, who refused to look truth in the face. I am as real as the human passions that bring worlds to ruins. If you are Theodora, then tell me, who really killed you? Oh, wouldn't you like to know the answer to that question? I don't even know which would be more satisfying, to give you an honest answer, or leave you to languish in your ignorance. We'll see how you conduct yourself, little girl. What do you want with me? Why are you waiting for me? Theodora wearily rolls her eyes. Matters are so dire that the pleas of one of my servants breached deaf fields to reach my ears. How could I ignore such a desperate cry for help? And from my little Adira, no less. And once I appeared here, of course I had to meet the pretender who has allowed this deplorable state of affairs. Where's Adira? What have you done with her? Me? What have I done with it, Adira? Theodora's laughed mockingly. All I did was turn that little mutt from the fringes into a true servant of the Imperium. I gave her toys, I cleaned up after her antics, I provided her with everything she could ever dream of. Oh, I had great plans for poor little Adira. I'm sorry we cannot help you, but you do not belong here. Theodora tosses her head back and laughs. The scar on her throat opens with a wet, sucking noise, curving into a horrible facsimile of a smile. She feels sorry for me, wretched, spineless creature. No, the only one worthy of pity here is you, girl, but do not expect any. I'm not here to console you. Oh no. I am here to seek retribution against all those who failed me. My brainless crew, my useless officers, my pathetic servants, who turned their backs on their mistress in her darkest hour. And worst of all, you, my dear heir, you who have undeservedly claimed the warrant and everything else that is mine. I will drag it all to the warp with me, including you. Follow Theodora.
I didn't?
Let us not
This
go.
ocular implant was a worthwhile investment.
This ocular implant was a worthwhile investment. with huge shells ready to be loaded to the macro cannon breech. Where is she? I clearly remember her being around here somewhere.
I always keep my options.
Oh, there's
open.
Adira. Ah, there you are, my little coward. Why won't you look at your captain, Adira? It's wrong. It's all wrong. Oh, there's all chaos. Look at her, girl. My little Adira is utterly trapped in her visions. No matter. I will allay your doubts. Lord Captain, Adira turns her head to you, but her demented gaze only rests briefly on your face before sliding away. Up close you can see the base of one of Adira's temple implants has blackened and melted. No, wait. Lord Captain. Lady von Valencius. Adira raises her eyes to Theodora, who stands before her. Tears stream down Adira's cheeks. You came back. Theodora clucks her tongue in sympathy, reaching out to tenderly stroke Adira's hair. Poor little Adira. There, how could I not come? You were crying for me so desperately. Your pleas carried to the very depths of the warp itself. The smile suddenly drops from her mutilated face. Why didn't you save me? Why didn't you warn me? Answer me, you insignificant wretch, or I'll drag the answer out of you myself. Theodora's fingers dip into Adira's scalp, meeting no resistance. Adira lets out a soul-chilling howl and tries to grab the hand tearing into her, but her fingers pass through the monster's flesh. I didn't hear anything. That could have had anything to do with you. I'm sorry, Lord Captain. I failed. Ah! Adira breaks into a strangled scream and you feel the air around you grow rapidly colder. Adira wordlessly swings her weapons up and aims it at Adira, who is struggling in the monster's hold. The Sister of Battle looks at her without an ounce of doubt or mercy. Dogmatic, let Argenta act. 1 second and Adira's body sags to the floor. At the same moment you hear a terrifying sound, shrill and piercing laughter. Emperor Granta, Alobla stops short, staring at the body unblinkingly for a few seconds before turning away. Geez, the figure of crackling Theodora von Valencia shudders and begins to change form. At last you begin to understand how important it is to promptly dispose of trash. But if you learned your lesson too late, too late. Holy shit.
Before the true power of humanity.
All of you will bleed. If I may. Me. If you insist, Lord Captain. Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Request to prove significant value. The scriptural prognosis is favorable.
not accustomed to being ordered as duty demands.
Wicked Bond. What's that?
Just a minor setback.
Shields me! Crush the feeble!
I'll do it.
Doubt is for the weak. Faith without deed.
Out of my way!
Out of his way.
Death to non-believers!
Focus, Van Calix.
Serve the ruined palace! Death to the weak!
Let's see to it. Naturally. But of course, Lord Captain. Let's see to it.
My vow is to function successfully terminated. Request approved.
On it. I'll make it happen. I'll see to it.
She's doing so little damage. Is it because of her weapon? 9 to 14. Maybe.
I'll do it.
That's better.
I won't compromise my principles.
I will do my duty. Indeed.
Isn't this a job for the serfs? I am a navigator, not a servitor.
Victory is imminent.
If I may.
I've suffered worse.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
Who even taught you to fight like this?
Doubt is for the weak.
High momentum.
In thy light I stand, and thy light I crave. Faith without deed is why I was chosen. I'll do it. As the Emperor commands, I act.
Chaos guides me.
Chaos guides him.
Chaos guides me. For the throne's glory. Let's see to it.
Didn't mean to do that.
Naturally.
The old Messiah knows all. Cobra hands all. The scriptural promise is to favor me. My vow is to serve.
Who, if not me?
No.
Cleanses the body.
Jeez.
It's as good as done.
Oh, what? Oh, I didn't mean that.
At your back and
Why'd they all dodge that?
I will do my duty.
Will endure.
So much chaos.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Running by now.
I'm not accustomed. Try to die with grace, at least. Isn't this a job for the serfs?
I'll do it. Faith without deeds is what doubt is for the weak.
Out of my way!
scorn the pain.
Let's see to it.
Be gone.
Significant value.
Lord Captain, the Voxmaster's voice shakes traitorously. I received a report that the shooting on the lower deck has stopped. I presume you have brought the situation under control. I eliminated the problem. Neither Adira nor the ghost of the departed Theodora will trouble us again. See to it that the bodies on the lower deck are disposed of. For a moment, airways are filled with something that sounds somewhat like breathing. Somewhat like ordinary interference. Of course, Lord Captain. Whoops.
Operation successful. Okay, let's continue. I've forgotten what I was doing. Oh, right. I was just coming back, wasn't I? Oh, that's a good point. Lord Captain, the world of Foulstone has been upset by a conflict between the followers of the Order of the Hammer and the refugees from Winterscale Dynasty's domain. An argument broke out near the tomb of the renowned holy man Nicodemus Keith, and the tomb was damaged in the fray. The pilgrims revere Keith's rival, Philip Pennymiz of Malapur, claimed to Keith to be a thief who had stolen the relics of the Saint Cognigatus and violated the sacred mystery of his resting place to sate his greed. The Order of the Hammer is furious at the heretical statements and the desecration of Keith's burial site. Who is this Nicomedes and Philomenes? As a missionary who arrived in the Expanse alongside the founder of the Order of the Hammers. what say my advisors? For a group that has arrived in a foreign realm, there's insolence, penance in this way. There was similar theory on the 20 champions from each side came forwards. Council early. Possession, let's bring forth representatives. They will not cause us any more trouble. Several thousand refugees have been sent on a pilgrimage of penance to search for the relics of St. Cognatius. Many believe that it was just a way to get rid of these inconvenient people. The Order of the Hammer thanked the Lord Captain for her protection and staying true to the agreements between them. Dominion of a flame weapon. Oh yeah. Inthernical. Touched by holiness, St. Cognatius left behind many treasures that are now coveted by powerful men and women. Rogue Traeger Incendia Corda possesses the shards of a priceless combi tool bearing the saint's fingerprints, formerly reclaiming the relic via the Aptistus. But if it's passed as sacred amongst the Order Hammer, it will become a great selling the forgiveness that can be a significant source. All allies increase that. Ooh. Your ladyship, there are alarming reports coming from Janus. A number of strange mutations have been spotted among the population in remote agri-complexes. Aside from the obvious disfigurement and subsequent estranglement, these mutants, called wretches by the rest of the colonists, are coming together to practice a primitive form of religion involving ritual worship of the land. While they display no disobedience or hospitality, their very existence is concerning. The members of the Magus biologists you tasked with healing Janus have found a mutation to be missing from the catalogue and recommend studying it and eradicating it immediately afterwards. The Janus nobility humbly await your decision. What do we know about these wretches? Their mutations cause the loss of skin pigment and the shedding of hair. Some have started developing a translucent third eyelid similar to that of reptiles. Others have succumbed to the progressive atrophy of the larvix, causing the loss of human speech. At the same time, their tendons become denser and more elastic, providing increased endurance and load resistance. The wretches are commonly orchestrated due to their grotesque appearance. There haven't been too many cases of mob justice yet, but they will become commonplace after the mutation's deformities become more obvious. The wretches tend to form groups that, with similarly afflicted people, their average level of intellect is low. They all belong to the labour caste and communicate among themselves using a primitive vernacular of their own invention. As for the barbaric religion, they are defying both the soil and Janus itself. What do I saw your agents' picked recordings. The signs of these monkey leap behind their idols, and I cannot deny the connection, though a pathetic and extremely abstract one, to the symbols of my people. Their guttural prayers echo the sounds of the children of Surian speech. The probability of them having come into such close contact with our civilization is non-existent, yet they are still somehow connected. Protect these people, resettle them to distant abodes, where they will not be harmed for their peculiarities, and keep watch. Someday the truth may be revealed. The blessed sanctum of the Imperium does not grace these mutants, but nor does it declare their existence anthemia. Should we sentence them without further study? There are mutants whose existence is fully sanctioned, such as organs, rattlings, pariahs, pelagos, filanins, or troughs. Our library had many treatises on the generator's craft, and I could impart some of that knowledge to your servants. Purely theoretical, of course. This mutation has not been properly studied and is missing from the catalogue. I am not registering a basis for delaying the commencement of immediate genetic purification. Resettle the wretches into separate agri-complexes where the crowds will not tear them apart. We will study them. I feel these monkey have been touched by something wondrous. The mutants will be resettled to distant agri-complexes where their unorthodox appearance would not put them in danger of being massacred by serfs. The mutants were put under surveillance. One of the watchmen spotted a mysterious relic in the hands of a group of wretches that turned out to be an item of Xeno origin. It is unlikely the mutants understood the nature of the object they worshipped. Product requirement on that. The following must be completed in Protectorate Giants. Profit factor, cure science, dark sages. Okay, where am I? Let's just save it quick. A ship that once traveled the galaxy is now suspended in the silent void like the gnawed carcass of a giant monster. When the rogue trader's void ship approaches, a Voxmaster reports an incoming message. A colony of the Imperium subjects have made their homes in the bowels of the ship. They welcome the Lord Captain. Oh God. Welcome, your ladyship. Please come right in. Our chief, she'll greet you. And you nitwits, quit your gawking and get to work.
Rise to the top. Or
An
get
initial survey of the vessel.
Now, hello there, your ladyship. Retta, a tired-looking woman of indeterminate age, clad in work clothes, breaks off from her task to greet you. She freezes momentarily, clearly unsure how to address you, then simply says, "Your ladyship, please excuse me. I don't really know your name. Welcome to our little colony. May the light of the Emperor be with you and with us. My name is Retta Maximiova. I'm in charge here." What is this place? We just call ourselves Retta's crew, and this place is Retta's camp. That's it, we're recollegers, scavengers in common terms. She does not speak the word scavengers with any kind of disdain. On the contrary, there is dignity in her voice, the kind with which one would announce their affiliation with a respected guild or family. Tossing a glance at Pascal, she grimly adds, "And our work is all legal, even though your brethren have no liking for us." Pascal stares dispassionately at Rita with a hint of disgust. Evidently, he has not even considered the possibility that replying to this creature's words could be anything other than heresy. What do you do here? Right now, we're gutting this old heap of junk, slowly but surely. That's the recolleger's life for you. They drop us off at some derelict station or an ancient battlefield, and we just sit there for years on end. We look for working tech or valuable materials or whatever else would be useful. If we find anything, we sell it to passing ships. Not the easiest job out there. These wrecks are chock full of all kinds of danger. But, and I swear it on my plasma torch, it's an exciting one for sure. This little bird's got all kinds of bells and whistles. Most of the tech is dead, but we do find working pieces now and again. We spent 2 whole months clearing out this shaft we found. Finished just 3 days ago, actually. And we found this thing, a bit weird looking, but still functional. Rita's expression brightens a little. Perhaps your ladyship would like to buy this component from us. I'll bet this big ship you got could do plenty use out of it. Pascal's Vox crackles to life. Imperiously he tells her, present the object, lay woman, but curiosity creeps into his voice nevertheless. I will buy the component. Well, isn't this something? The Emperor himself must have smiled upon us. Oh, rechargeable battery. Her mood visibly improves. You know, your ladyship, it's kind of embarrassing to offer you this, but over in that corner there we keep things we don't rightly understand or can't really use. We could send some of your people to check it out if you like. Clearly you know more about this stuff than us. You got your own ship? No, not even close. A luxury like that? You count the Ricolators who got their own ships on one hand. An old worker's hand that got sucked into a machinery 3 times and slashed by a plasma cutter twice. We fly with whoever, mostly just taking our chances. Sometimes we hitch a ride on the promise that we'll pay with what we find later. Other times we find some other means. Risky business, obvious. 5 or 6 years ago, a crew got dropped off at an abandoned station, but something wasn't right with the life support systems. The ship came back to pick them up 2 years later and found nothing but bodies. And about 15 years ago, back before I had my first little one, the ship took 3 crews to locations and ran into pirates on the way back. The ships go out on expeditions for years at a time, so it was ages before anyone realised they were missing, and it was even longer before they remembered the scavengers. Plus it took some time to find a ship that could check up on them and pick them up. Long story short, all 3 crews had boarded it. Yep. Can you tell me anything about this wreck? Not much. We're no eggheads, you know. We're manual labour. It's an ancient thing, pretty dangerous. We don't really know much beyond it. Before we came here, some tech priests had done their own bit of gutting. I mean ritualing, bowing to the spirits, all that. That lot didn't tend to leave a whole lot of valuables behind, it's true. But it's way too scary to go in before them, and hey, we dragged a dozen of their broken servitors out of the mines after. The carcasses smell awful, but you can pluck a decent number of parts out of a servitor and sell it. Doesn't seem like there'll be anything nasty living inside the wreck now, but the wreck itself is barely holding together. You go a couple of modules from here, and that's it. You won't be taking another step without fearing that a broken reactor might cook you alive, or a whole module might be depressurized. Well, it's nothing we haven't handled before, so we're having a poke at it. But we don't have a clue what the ship is or who it belonged to. You take pride in your trade, I see. Sure do. It takes skill and luck, and a good head on your shoulders. We risk our lives every day, crawling on top of these old buckets. If something goes wrong, we die. By the score sometimes. One moment we're there, the next we're gone. Kind of like worker ants. But you know what, your ladyship? Our job has also something, how shall I put it, poetic. Hope you don't judge me too harshly and don't take it as an insolence. But some people, even big people like you, think too highly of themselves. Let's say your ship hops into the warp someday and doesn't hop out of it in time. And around 1,000 years later, another girl like myself, who needs to feed her 3 ankle biters somehow, will be rifling through its remains, looking for anything good. That's just the nature of things. Each of us comes and goes, but the way the world works stays the same. We all have a lot in life, and mine is just as good as any other. There is something to your philosophy. It's what my gramps taught me. He was a recognologer and a foreman too. He had some fancy smanchy forts in his head of his, where he lived to the rope all age with them. In our line of work, which means those forts weren't all bad. I can take you from this place. It's not safe here, and sooner or later it will drift somewhere so remote that nobody will ever find you again. But this is our whole livelihood, your ladyship. You take us from here, and what are we going to do? Sit in some hold, slaving away? Here, we've got our own colony, our own operation? No, this is our path. We will wait straight from it. Your ladyship. Please don't take it as insolence, but it's not like I have much choice. It's not often that we get a well-stocked ship around here, and we could certainly use more provisions and some warm clothes. If it's something you would be willing to provide, we would gladly barter for it with whatever we can dig up inside the here ship. It's just a respectful offer of fair trade.
Just as I planned. I better myself through my service. Duty prevails.
Need key.
My success is an irrefutable certainty.
Is there money to be made?
This explorator is blessed with
Success is
multifunctionality.
the only outcome I accept.
Incredible. Your heart, esteemed Magos, shines with a kaleidoscope of colors, albeit one.
Only laypersons believe feelings to be the preserve of flawed flesh. We know the higher passions granted by the Omnissiah, the aversion to tech corruption, the blessing of compliance with the canon of maintenance, and the satisfaction of effective devotional service. Finality.
Find the code to the safe.
The machine god grants me insight.
Ooh. The bizarre structure observed from orbit appears to be the ruined estate of a wealthy noble. Further searching reveals the remains of an envirodome, the landing pad, the main manor, and servants' quarters. It's impossible to determine what exactly happened there. The search team has found something truly disturbing in the main hall. An opulently clothed skeleton sitting at the dinner table. The table is set with gold plates covered with old blood and piles of bones. The bones on the plates are clearly human. No other remains have been found on the estate. The scout team returns with some expensive weapons taken from the skeleton. After finishing their report, they hurry away. Assault laser gun. A Vox notification from the Olga crew drowns out the usual noise on the bridge. An Imperial vessel, the Dark Piercer, and its escort ships are headed your way. Your archives make no mention of either ship or its owner. As you consider your course of action, the ship's captain contacts you first, introducing himself as the Pilgrim. The captain greets the rogue trader courteously and offers to purchase any information you might have on Crystal Phlogiston. The captain admits he has not always been the right thing in life, but he once beheld the blessing of the Emperor himself, and has followed a special path of service to him ever since. That is the path he now treads. Interesting. What's this? A violent battle is unfolding before the rogue trader's eyes. Patrol ships from the Ghidorah fleet are tearing apart two small Adari vessels. Once they are finished with them, the void ships give chase after the third, already damaged vessel, clearly with the intention of destroying it as well. Stop the battle. The Vox marks are, according to the Grivazinos, are malicious criminals. The patrol reluctantly admits there is no conclusive proof. This system is sometimes the target of analyzed in. Nope.
Ah, finally! Some real action!
Make every shot count! Macro cannon! Open fire! With the force of a supernova!
Breach in our enemy's defenses!
All hands, prepare for acceleration. Let them taste our fury! Make every shot count. Helmsman, take us in. Let them taste our fury. Make every shot count. Coordinates set. Lance batteries, volley. Macro cannons. Open fire. Fire at will.
Another notch on the macro cannon.
Okay, we've got this. Just need to catch up with him now. And he's made it perfect.
Lance batteries. Volley. Make every shot count. Salvo. Burn in the fires of retribution.
Well, this is not going to go well.
The vessel begs for our aid.
Our technological superiority was obvious.
By the Lord Captain's order, House Corder's ships have been annihilated. Meanwhile, the wounded Xeno ships have rapidly distanced themselves from the recent battlefield, attempting to hide in the shadow of the nearest world. Ooh. Oh, damn it. The planet is devoid of even the most primitive forms of life. However, the crew has made quite a strange discovery. A mirror, lying right at the center of a huge crater. Oh, let's take it aboard. However, the Voxmaster reports to Josh crew that delivery. Oh, God. The vigilant members of the Augur crew have detected a small Xeno vessel drifting through the void. Send out a boarding shuttle. The squad boarded the shuttle without corrosion has laid waste to the ship's systems until it is full of corpses. This mining world has been classified as normal.
This hallowed vessel's bulkheads will hold strong.
Macro cannon! Open fire! All hands, prepare for acceleration. Make every shot count! With the force of a supernova! Engage the engine!
Come on, destroy one of them at least.
Fire at will! So taste our fury! With the force of a supernova!
Beware, Lord Captain. Our shield is down.
Fire at will! Make every shot count! Salvo!
No escape pods detected. No emergency beacon detected. No survivors detected.
One more hit, and we are finished.
Macro cannon. Open fire. Make every shot count! All hands, prepare for acceleration.
Nice one.
Victory is ours.
Okay. Ooh. That night, the Lord Captain and some of her crew were awakened by beautiful music. Hive City. The Santiel's pride hives are oozing noxious haze. Ooh. Lord Captain, according to the telemetry, we are in the system of Kiava Gamma, the main industrial world of the von Valencia's dynasty. However, our Astropass report that attempts to contact Governor Garaprek have been unsuccessful. But wait, the Voxmaster is silent for a few seconds. Lord Captain, a new report. Kiava Gamma is sending a request to exchange data. Reply with our own request. As you command. Lord Captain, reporting, the Maniferian is ignoring all our requests and continues to send us its own. The longer we do not accept their messages, the stronger and more persistent the incoming signals become. Starter picked recording. The Void ship's bridge. Sounds of working congregators and officers' footsteps. The everyday scene is... scrap code. Lord Captain, the situation has been brought under control. Fortunately, the bridge suffered only minor losses. Kiava Gamma went silent.